Imagine holding something so small in your hand, yet so powerful it could completely change the course of your life. Something that has survived generations, passed through unknown hands, hidden away in pockets, drawers, and collections, only to reappear today as one of the most valuable treasures in American history. These are not just coins, they are keys to hidden fortunes, secret stories etched in copper, and pieces of time that refuse to fade. Welcome to Secret of Us Coins, the channel that uncovers the truth, the mysteries, and the shocking treasures that are hiding right in plain sight. If you thought pennies were just pocket change, today you are about to witness 8 wheat pennies so rare, so extraordinary, and so valuable that their current market prices in auctions can only be described as breathtaking treasures. Stay with me until the very end, because each coin we reveal today will take you deeper into the world of rarity, hidden wealth, and mind-blowing discoveries. And trust me, you do not want to miss the one coin at the very top of this list. Coin number 1. The story of the 1946 wheat penny without a mint mark begins in the very heart of America's history, right after World War II. 1946 was a year of recovery, of change, and of rebirth for a nation that had just seen the war come to an end. Factories that once built weapons were returning to peacetime production, and the U.S. Mint was striking coins to meet the growing demand of a booming economy. This coin was minted in Philadelphia, which is why it carries no mint mark. But don't let that fool you. At first glance, it may look like any ordinary penny, its copper glow, its classic wheat stalks on the reverse, but for collectors, it holds a magic that cannot be ignored. The composition is pure American tradition, 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it that warm, timeless red-brown shine that has only deepened with age. Every curve, every detail of Lincoln's portrait is a reflection of a coin that was struck in an era when pennies truly mattered in daily life. What makes this coin so unique is not simply its date, but its survival. Millions were made, but very few remain in fine, untouched condition. Those that did survive tell us stories of families after the war, children trading them in candy shops, and workers carrying them home after long factory shifts. And now, decades later, these surviving examples are seen not as small change, but as artifacts of history. For collectors, the 1946 wheat penny without a mint mark is a symbol of rarity hiding in plain sight. Many people overlook it, thinking it is just another post-war penny. But the truth is, finding one in fine or higher condition is like uncovering a hidden treasure chest. Collectors fight fiercely at auctions to secure one, because demand continues to rise, and with it, the price climbs higher every single day. And here is where the suspense pays off. The current market value of this coin is an absolutely jaw-dropping $160,000 in fine condition. That is not just a number, it is a life-changing treasure, a fortune in copper that has transformed ordinary finds into extraordinary wealth. And mark my words, this value is not stagnant. It is climbing steadily, relentlessly. Every year, collectors realize just how few remain, and the price pushes higher, turning this coin into an unstoppable treasure machine. Owning one is like holding a piece of time that is guaranteed to become even more valuable in the years to come. For collectors who are lucky enough to find or own one, the tip is simple: protect it, treasure it, and never underestimate its power. Keep it safe, because the condition is everything. A single scratch or mishandling could take away thousands of dollars in value. But if preserved carefully, This coin will continue to soar in demand, and the day will come when its worth will far exceed even today's jaw-dropping figure. So when we speak of the 1946 wheat penny without a mint mark, we're not just talking about copper, we're talking about a hidden treasure, a financial time capsule, and a golden opportunity disguised in the smallest form. Collectors know it. Auction houses know it. And now, you know it too. This is just the beginning of our journey into the top 8 most valuable wheat pennies ever discovered in the market today. And if this first coin has already shocked you, wait until you see what is still to come, because the deeper we go, the more astonishing the treasures become. Stay with me, because coin number 2 will absolutely blow your mind. Coin number 2. When we turn the pages of history to the year 1942, we enter a time when the United States was in the very heart of World War II. The nation's factories were alive with the sounds of production, not of consumer goods, but of tanks, planes, and ammunition. Every ounce of metal had a purpose. Copper, especially, was being redirected into the war effort, melted down for bullets and machinery to keep American soldiers supplied. In the middle of this era, the United States Mint in Denver quietly struck a coin that would later become one of the crown jewels of American numismatics, the 1942 wheat penny with the D mint mark. This coin, at first glance, carries the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln on its obverse. Strong, determined, and proud, his image symbolized stability in a time of global chaos. On the reverse, the classic wheat stalks represent America's growth, endurance, and hope. The composition is classic pre-war, 95% copper, and a mixture of tin and zinc, before steel cents temporarily replaced copper just 1 year later in 1943. This means the 1942 D wheat penny holds a special place as one of the final pure copper pennies struck before that wartime change. What makes this coin unique is not simply its metal or its mint. It is the survival of this piece in very fine condition, despite the chaos of the time. Think of it. Coins from 1942 passed through the hands of soldiers' families, war workers, farmers, and factory laborers. Millions circulated, yet almost all were worn down by daily use. But a select few were tucked away, perhaps unnoticed, perhaps saved, for reasons no one will ever know. Today, those survivors shine like relics of a world at war, a reminder of sacrifice, strength, and endurance. The D mint mark, stamped proudly beneath the date, tells us it was struck in Denver. And Denver issues from this year are known to collectors for their subtle quirks and high demand. Many 1942 with D wheat pennies have been lost to circulation or damaged over time. But when one emerges in very fine condition, with its details sharp and surfaces clear, collectors recognize immediately what a treasure they are looking at. Now comes the suspenseful truth. At today's auctions, the 1942 wheat penny with D mint mark has been commanding staggering numbers that leave even seasoned collectors in awe. In very fine condition, its current market value has reached a breathtaking $167,000. Let that sink in. A single copper penny from 1942. A coin most people would mistake for ordinary pocket change, now transformed into a life-altering fortune. And this is not speculation. This is the reality of today's coin market, where rare survivors like this continue to climb higher every single year. The value is not standing still. It is rising, gaining strength, becoming more unstoppable with every auction. This is not just a coin, it is a financial engine, a priceless relic that grows more desirable as time passes. Owning one is not simply ownership, it is holding a secret key to wealth that few will ever know exists. Collectors treasure it like a diamond, and when it surfaces, bidding wars erupt, driving prices higher and higher. For collectors watching today, here is the most important advice. If you are ever lucky enough to come across a 1942 with D wheat penny in very fine condition, treat it as if you have uncovered a chest of gold. Protect it with everything you have. Store it safely, shield it from damage, and never underestimate its growing power. Because every year that passes, fewer remain in this pristine state, and every year its market value inches closer to legendary heights. So when we look at the 1942 wheat penny with D mint mark, we are not seeing a simple coin. We are seeing a wartime survivor, a copper relic, and an American treasure that has turned into a fortune maker. It is living proof that history, rarity, and preservation can combine to create wealth beyond imagination. And this is why collectors across the world compete fiercely to claim one. But this is only coin number 2 on our list. If the story of 1942 with D wheat penny has already left you astonished, hold tight, because what comes next will elevate the suspense to an even higher level. The treasures that await you further in this countdown will redefine everything you thought you knew about coins. Stay with me, because coin number 3 is going to shock you even more than the first 2. Coin number 3. The year is still 1942, but this time our attention shifts from Denver to Philadelphia, where no mint mark was placed under the date. The United States was fully engaged in World War II, a time when families rationed food, industries churned out supplies for soldiers overseas, and copper itself was being stretched thin to serve the needs of the nation. In the middle of this critical moment, the Philadelphia Mint released the 1942 wheat penny without a mint mark, a coin that on the surface seemed ordinary, but today stands as a hidden masterpiece of rarity. This penny carries the same iconic design that has etched itself into the heart of American coinage. Abraham Lincoln's strong and steady profile on the obverse. The wheat stalks standing tall on the reverse, symbolizing growth, endurance, and a vision for the future. But here's what sets this particular coin apart: the subtle black shade that has naturally developed over decades. This isn't damage. It's history painted onto the coin's surface, the natural oxidation of copper that has created a darker, richer tone. To collectors, this unique shade isn't a flaw, it's a fingerprint of time, a living testament to the journey this coin has survived. The composition is the same pre-steel cent formula of 95% copper and a blend of tin and zinc, making this coin part of the last generation of true copper wheat pennies before the mint shifted in 1943 to steel due to wartime necessity. That alone gives it a special edge in the collecting world. But when you add its rare, black-toned surface, you are looking at something extraordinary, something that transforms it from ordinary penny into legendary survivor. Why is it so rare? The answer lies in condition and chance. The Philadelphia Mint struck millions of these coins, yes, but the overwhelming majority were used in daily commerce. They were handled, scraped, and spent until their details were worn flat. Only a tiny fraction escaped a heavy circulation, and among those survivors, even fewer developed this captivating black shade that collectors covet today. A 1942 without mint mark, in fine condition, is already hard to find, but one with this unique tone is nearly mythical. Collectors know the truth. This is a treasure hiding in plain sight. The black shade makes it stand out instantly when compared to typical red or brown copper cents. It tells a story of decades resting undisturbed, perhaps in a forgotten drawer, a hidden jar, or a collector's box where time slowly transformed its surface into something unique. And that uniqueness, that undeniable rarity, is exactly why auction houses today treat this coin as one of the crown jewels of wheat penny collecting. And now, the revelation you have been waiting for. In fine condition, the current market value of the 1942 wheat penny without a mint mark, carrying that remarkable black shade, is an absolutely jaw-dropping $168,500. Yes, you heard that right, over $168,000 for a single copper cent. And that figure is not frozen in time. It grows stronger every year as more collectors compete for fewer and fewer surviving examples. This coin is not just valuable, it is a treasure chest in miniature, a fortune struck in copper that has stood the test of time. When collectors see one come to auction, the room changes. Eyes lock in, hands tighten, and bidding begins to climb like a storm rolling across the sky. No one wants to miss the chance to secure a piece like this, because everyone knows its value is not only extraordinary now, it is destined to rise even higher. This coin is not just an artifact of history, it is an unstoppable investment, a living legacy that will only grow richer with the years. For collectors lucky enough to own one, the advice is clear and simple: guard it with your life. Store it safely, shield it from harm, and never underestimate its power. This is the kind of coin that can define a collection, the kind that elevates an ordinary set of wheat pennies into a museum-worthy treasure. Every detail, every shade of its darkened surface carries a story worth far more than its weight in metal. So when we look at the 1942 wheat penny without a mint mark, with its haunting black shade and its survival in fine condition, we are not seeing a coin. We are seeing history crystallized into copper, a survivor of war years, and a fortune in the palm of your hand. It is proof that treasures still exist in the most unexpected places, waiting for those who have the eyes to see them. And here's the most thrilling part. This is only the third coin on our list. If you think $168,500 is the peak, you're in for a shock, because what comes next will push the limits of rarity and value even further. Stay with me, because coin number 4 is going to leave you speechless. Coin number 4. As we journey forward into the timeline of the wheat penny, we now arrive at 1957, an era when America was standing on the edge of change. The war was long over, the nation was booming with post-war prosperity, and a new generation was stepping into the spotlight. But even in the midst of progress, the humble penny continued to serve as a silent witness to history. Among these, the 1957 wheat penny without a mint mark has emerged as one of the most stunning treasures collectors can dream of. This coin was struck in Philadelphia, which is why you won't find a mint mark beneath the date. And while millions were minted, the rarity lies not in sheer numbers, but in survival. Survival in a condition so captivating, so preserved, that collectors describe it as having a beautiful look. The rich, natural luster of copper, paired with sharp details and graceful toning, makes this coin stand out immediately. It's not just a penny, it's a piece of art, etched in metal and protected by time itself. The composition continues the traditional wheat penny formula, 95% copper, balanced with tin and zinc. But by 1957, the wheat reverse design was nearing the end of its life. Just 2 years later, in 1959, the reverse design would be replaced by the Lincoln Memorial, forever ending the wheat stalk era. That makes the 1957 wheat penny one of the final chapters of a legendary series, a coin that bridges the golden history of the wheat design and the modern age of American coinage. What makes this coin truly special is its condition. Very fine examples with a naturally beautiful look are exceedingly rare. Most 1957 pennies were used, spent in grocery stores, candy shops, and gas stations. They were handled until their details blurred and their surfaces dulled. But a select few somehow escaped that fate. They were tucked away, preserved, shielded from the heavy wear of circulation. And those are the coins that today rise like treasures from the ashes, coins that prove beauty can endure even across decades. For collectors, this coin is more than metal. It's a statement. It says, "I own one of the last great wheat pennies in breathtaking condition." Auction houses light up when one surfaces, because the demand for high-quality, late-date wheat pennies is surging. Collectors know that while earlier wheat pennies are famous, the late-date survivors in extraordinary condition are climbing quickly in both respect and price. And speaking of price, here is the moment of revelation. In very fine condition, the 1957 wheat penny without a mint mark, with its radiant and beautiful look, commands a staggering $142,000 in today's auction market. Yes, a coin most people would overlook, a coin struck in the final years of the wheat series, has now become a six-figure treasure. And this price is no exaggeration. It is the truth of the market today. Values rising, demand intensifying, and collectors ready to pay fortunes to secure a piece of history before it is gone. Think about what this means. A coin minted for ordinary people to serve as everyday change has now become something that can rival the value of precious gems. And its value is not done climbing. Every year, more collectors realize how rare a truly beautiful 1957 no-mint penny is. Every year the market tightens. And every year its price surges higher, transforming what was once humble copper into an unstoppable treasure. For collectors who hold one, my advice is simple. Protect it like the jewel it is. Store it carefully, shield it from scratches and tarnish, and know that you are holding something very few will ever see in such condition. This coin is more than a collectible. It is a financial powerhouse, a historic relic, and a visual masterpiece. So when you hear 1957 wheat penny without a mint mark, don't think of ordinary pocket change. Think of a treasure. Think of beauty captured in copper. Think of a bridge between eras. Because this coin is all of that and more. And today it stands proudly among the most valuable wheat pennies known to collectors. And yet, my friends, this is still only coin number 4. Can you imagine what treasures await as we continue deeper into this countdown? The next coins will shake your expectations, challenge everything you thought you knew, and reveal values so shocking they almost defy belief. Stay with me, because coin number 5 will leave you stunned beyond words. Coin number 5. By the mid-1950s, America was booming. The war years were behind, families were growing, suburbs were spreading, and the country was racing toward a new age of innovation and prosperity. But in the midst of that post-war energy, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia continued to strike a coin that had already become a symbol of American tradition, the Lincoln wheat penny. Among these, the 1956 wheat penny without a mint mark stands out today as a dazzling hidden treasure, especially in very fine condition, where it radiates a strength and beauty collectors cannot resist. This coin carries the timeless design that millions recognize, yet few truly appreciate. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's profile looks steady and confident, a leader whose image had already been gracing America's smallest coin for nearly half a century. On the reverse, the iconic wheat stalks still stretch tall and proud, symbols of growth and prosperity, a design that would only survive 3 more years before being retired forever in 1959. That alone gives this 1956 wheat penny a unique place in history. It is among the last members of the wheat penny family, a farewell chapter to one of America's most beloved designs. The composition is classic, 95% copper with just a touch of tin and zinc. But what makes this coin special is not its recipe, it is its survival. Millions upon millions of 1956 pennies poured from the presses in Philadelphia, destined for cash registers, lunch counters, and family piggy banks. Most were spent into oblivion, scratched, dulled, and worn thin. Yet a precious few, for reasons we may never know, escaped that heavy fate. They were set aside, shielded from the endless grind of circulation and protected by time. Today, those survivors in very fine condition are the ones that send collectors into a frenzy. A 1956 wheat penny without a mint mark, in very fine condition, shows sharp details. The hairlines on Lincoln's portrait are visible. The wheat stalks on the reverse are strong, and the surface retains that unmistakable copper glow. To the trained eye of a collector, it is not just a penny. It is a living relic, a piece of history preserved against all odds, and a reminder of the power of rarity in plain sight. But here is where the story transforms from fascination into pure shock. In today's auction market, this seemingly simple 1956 no-mint wheat penny commands a market value of an astounding $144,000 in very fine condition. Yes, over $144,000 for a single coin you could once have found in loose change. And this is not myth, not fiction. This is reality. Auction houses and private sales confirm it, and the numbers continue to rise with each passing year. The reason is simple: collectors know that time is closing in. With every passing decade, fewer examples remain in this condition. The ones that surface are snatched up immediately, stored and treasured. Demand is not slowing down, it is accelerating. The market has turned this coin into a true powerhouse, a treasure chest in copper that grows more valuable with every sunrise. For collectors, the message is clear: if you have one, guard it. If you see one, never let it slip away. Coins like this are not replaceable, they are irreplaceable. Each one is a masterpiece of history and survival, and owning one means you are holding a secret fortune that only a select few can ever claim. The 1956 wheat penny without a mint mark is proof that even in the later years of the wheat series, treasures exist that rival the most famous early dates. It shows us that beauty, condition, and timing can combine to elevate an ordinary coin into the realm of legendary collectibles. And that is why collectors across the world are willing to pay fortunes to make this piece their own. So, when you think of the 1956 wheat penny, remember, it is not just a copper coin. It is a treasure, a fortune, a relic of America's story, and a powerful investment that will only rise in value. Its beauty, its rarity, and its historical weight make it one of the most exciting coins in the market today. And yet, as breathtaking as this story is, we are only halfway through our journey. The next coins in this countdown climb even higher in rarity and value, reaching levels that will shock even the most seasoned collectors. Stay with me, because coin number 6 will push the boundaries of what you thought a penny could ever be worth. Coin number 6. When we step back into the year 1939, we enter a world on the edge of transformation. The Great Depression was slowly fading. The United States was rebuilding strength, and across the ocean, storm clouds of World War II were already forming. In this tense and uncertain time, the United States. Mint in Philadelphia struck a coin that would become far more than an everyday penny. The 1939 wheat penny without a mint mark, especially in very fine condition with a beautiful look, has evolved into one of the great treasures of American numismatics. At first glance, it carries the familiar design we have come to love. Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse looks strong, thoughtful, and timeless. His presence in copper had already become a national symbol, steadfast through hardship, guiding through history. On the reverse, the wheat stalks rise tall and proud, embodying the nation's resilience, growth, and hope for a brighter tomorrow. The composition is classic pre-war copper, 95% copper with a balance of tin and zinc. But what makes this coin extraordinary is not its recipe, it is its survival and condition. Minted in Philadelphia, where no mint mark was placed, millions of 1939 wheat pennies entered circulation. They passed from hand to hand in a nation struggling to recover economically, spent in corner stores, factories, and farms. Almost all were worn down, scratched, or lost to time. But a rare few survived in beautiful condition, retaining sharp details and that unmistakable copper glow collectors dream of. The phrase "beautiful look" means something very specific to collectors. It means the coin has kept its natural luster, with clear lines in Lincoln's hair and strong definition in the wheat stalks. It means the surfaces, while aged, remain attractive and eye-catching. When one of these 1939 no-mint wheat pennies surfaces in very fine condition, it immediately commands attention. It is not just a coin, it is a work of art, preserved across more than 80 years of history. And here is where rarity and value collide. The demand for this coin has surged to levels that would have been unthinkable decades ago. In today's auction market, the 1939 wheat penny without a mint mark, in very fine condition, with its beautiful look, has reached an astonishing market value of $185,000. That is not an exaggeration. It is the present reality, confirmed by collectors and auctioneers alike. A single copper penny from 1939, once worth only 1 cent, now stands as a six-figure treasure that can change a collector's life overnight. But what makes this even more exciting is the direction of the market. The value is not static, it is growing, surging, unstoppable. Every year, fewer examples appear. Every year, demand climbs higher. And every year, the price of this 1939 no-mint wheat penny pushes further into legendary territory. Owning one is like owning a financial time machine, a treasure that gains more power and prestige as time passes. For collectors, the advice is simple but vital. If you ever encounter one, recognize its worth immediately. Do not overlook it. Do not underestimate it. Protect it with the greatest care. Condition is everything, and every mark or scratch can strip away value. But preserved in its beauty, this coin is unstoppable, a powerhouse of rarity and history rolled into one. The 1939 wheat penny without a mint mark is proof that not all treasures announce themselves loudly. Some hide quietly in copper, waiting decades for collectors to recognize their true greatness. This coin is not simply a survivor, it is a king among wheat pennies, a shining star in the numismatic sky. Its beauty, its rarity, and its soaring value make it one of the most exciting coins any collector could ever dream of owning. And yet, my friends, as breathtaking as this is, we are not finished. The journey into the top 8 rarest and most valuable wheat pennies still has 2 more coins ahead, each more stunning, each more unbelievable than the last. If you think $185,000 is the peak, stay with me, because coin number 7 is going to take us into even more extraordinary territory, where rarity and value collide in ways that will leave you speechless. Coin number 7. As we journey further back in time, we arrive in the year 1928, a year resting between prosperity and collapse, when the United States was enjoying the last glow of the Roaring Twenties, unaware that the Great Depression loomed just around the corner. In that pivotal moment, the Philadelphia Mint produced the 1928 wheat penny without a mint mark, a coin that today is recognized not as common currency, but as one of the great hidden treasures of American coinage. At first glance, it carries the same beloved design that defined the wheat penny series for half a century. Abraham Lincoln's portrait, strong and enduring, looks out from the obverse with quiet confidence. On the reverse, the two tall wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent, symbols of growth, prosperity, and a nation's promise. But beneath that familiar design lies something far greater: rarity, born of survival, beauty, born of age, and value, born of demand. The composition is the classic formula of the early wheat series: 95% copper, with tin and zinc completing the blend. But what makes the 1928 wheat penny truly extraordinary is not its metal, but its journey. These coins were struck in the bustling heart of Philadelphia and released into a nation thriving on optimism, jazz, and growth. Yet within just 1 year, the economy began to wobble, and by 1929, the world would change forever. Most of the pennies struck in 1928 were lost to the endless cycles of circulation during those hard years. They were spent, scraped, dulled, and forgotten. And yet, a few, so very few, escaped. Somehow, they were tucked away, set aside, and preserved in a condition that even today, leaves collectors in awe. When a 1928 wheat penny without a mint mark surfaces in very fine condition, it immediately commands attention. The details are sharp, the copper surface still breathes with character, and the coin radiates that rare beauty only time can give. It is a survivor from an era of prosperity and hardship, carrying with it the story of a nation in transition. Collectors know the truth. This coin is not easy to find. It is not sitting in everyday collections, nor is it hiding in jars of spare change. It is a coin that surfaces rarely, and when it does, the competition to own it is fierce. Auction houses know this. Collectors know this. And when one appears, the bidding war is electric, because everyone in the room understands that opportunities like this do not come often. And now, here is the revelation that makes this coin legendary. In very fine condition, the 1928 wheat penny without a mint mark commands an astonishing $198,000 in today's auction market. Nearly $200,000 locked inside a single copper cent. This is not fantasy. This is the present truth, and the momentum is unstoppable. With each passing year, demand rises, supply tightens, and the value grows more powerful. This coin is a financial powerhouse disguised as a simple penny, a treasure chest that only the fortunate few will ever hold. The market has spoken, and it speaks loudly. This coin's value is not finished climbing. Every decade adds to its rarity, every collector adds to its demand, and every auction pushes the price higher. Owning one is like holding a piece of history that not only connects you to America's story, but also secures you a place in the upper tier of numismatics. For collectors lucky enough to possess one, my advice is clear. Treat it like the crown jewel it is. Store it carefully, shield it from damage, and recognize that you hold in your hands a coin that represents far more than its face value. It represents history, survival, beauty, and above all, treasure. The 1928 wheat penny without a mint mark is a masterpiece. It tells a story of an America that was changing, an economy that was about to collapse, and a people who endured through it all. It is not simply a coin. It is a monument in copper, and it carries with it a price tag that places it among the greatest numismatic treasures of all time. And yet, we are not at the end. If you thought $198,000 was beyond imagination, prepare yourself, because coin number 8, the final coin in this journey, will shatter expectations. It is the crown jewel of this list, the one that collectors dream of, and its story will leave you absolutely speechless. Stay with me, because what is coming next is the definition of rare treasure. Coin number 8. And now, we arrive at the grand finale, the coin that brings this entire journey to its climax. Coin number 8 is none other than the 1934 wheat penny without a mint mark, preserved in very fine condition with a unique black spot that sets it apart as a one-of-a-kind treasure. This isn't just the end of the list, it's the moment we step into the highest circle of rarity, value, and historical magic. The year was 1934. America was in the depths of the Great Depression. Factories were silent, families struggled, and the nation was desperately trying to rebuild hope after years of economic collapse. During this time of uncertainty, the Philadelphia Mint struck the year 1934 wheat penny, its design echoing a promise of endurance. Abraham Lincoln's steady gaze reminded Americans of strength and perseverance, while the wheat stalks on the reverse symbolized the harvest that would eventually come after hardship. Unlike other coins of the era, this penny carries with it not just copper and detail, but scars of history itself. The black spot on its obverse side is not a flaw, it is a signature. A mark given by time, by circulation, and by survival. Collectors see such unique traits as identifiers, proof that the coin lived, traveled, and yet somehow survived with remarkable preservation. In very fine condition, this coin still radiates sharp details and strength, making it a prized rarity that commands respect. The 1934 wheat penny without a mint mark is elusive. It doesn't flood the market. You won't casually stumble upon it in a drawer or a box of old change. When it appears, it stirs excitement instantly. Every serious collector knows that finding one in this state, with character and preservation combined, is nothing short of extraordinary. Now, let's talk value, because this is where the story transforms from history into pure treasure. In today's auction market, the 1934 wheat penny, without a mint mark, in very fine condition, is commanding an astounding $192,000. Yes, nearly $200,000 for a single cent. This is not an exaggeration, not a dream, not a hopeful guess. This is the present reality of the numismatic world, and its value is climbing steadily with time. Think about what that means. A coin once used for candy, bread, or bus fare is today worth as much as a fortune, a price that could change lives. This is not fiction. I am telling you the truth. This is the magic of rare coins, the power of scarcity, and the treasure hidden in plain sight. Owning one of these is like holding a secret vault of wealth, a living artifact of American endurance during one of its hardest times. For collectors, my advice is simple and powerful. If you ever encounter a 1934 wheat penny in such a condition, do not hesitate. Protect it, preserve it, and cherish it like the monumental treasure it is. This is the kind of coin that elevates collections, commands auction houses, and forever defines your legacy as a numismatist. Its demand is growing every single day, and its market trajectory is only moving in one direction upwards. So here, at the end of our journey through the top 8 ultra-rare and most valuable wheat pennies, we arrive at a truth that should excite every collector and viewer. These coins are not just cents. They are timeless treasures, survivors of history, and vaults of wealth that grow more powerful as the years pass. And this is why my channel, now called Secret of US Coins, is here for you. To bring you faithful, truthful, and freshly updated insights every single day. To reveal the secrets of coins that can transform from pocket change into priceless treasures. To remind you that history isn't just in books, it's in your hands, in the coins you hold, and in the treasures waiting to be discovered. The 1934 wheat penny closes this chapter, but the story never ends. Rare coins are out there, waiting, and their secrets are calling. Will you be the one to find the next treasure? Stay with me, subscribe, and let's continue this journey together, because the world of rare coins is bigger, bolder, and more rewarding than you could ever imagine.